Right, good evening, people. My name is JR and I am the FR Gooner. How's everyone this week?
Very well.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, yeah.
Not very
All
well.
right. Besides football, how's life then? Can I ask? Is it
No,
good?
life is good, man. No, life.
Yeah,
You know what? I think we
Life's
just got to
good.
be grateful when everybody is healthy and well. I think
100%.
let's just be grateful for that, and then the rest is a bonus. But yeah, I think that's the best way to
Nice.
look at it.
I was gonna
Yeah.
moan.
Oh, wait.
We'll start off with you then, Colleen, mum.
No, I was
Um,
gonna moan about Tottenham, but then I realised the beer lives not too far from me, so
Yeah, we're down the road, man. Yeah.
I know.
yeah, yeah. We'll talk about our enemies later and the
Mm.
place of Tottenham. But now
Enemies, boy.
we're not enemies, but yeah, the team that we don't like. But we start off with the Arsenal. Obviously, it's been a bad week to be fair. You know, things is really it was all good a week ago, they say, but things have gone downhill. Kaleem, as I say, we'll start off with you in terms of Arteta. Where do you sit with him now? Because I know when the bear sits with him in terms of, yeah, I know we don't even need to ask the bear to be fair, because he said it all along. But where do you sit with Arteta?
I don't think anything changes right now for me because I don't. There's no point me flip flopping my opinion right now. There's still
Mm,
8 games to play. I don't know where we're gonna finish. Like 2 weeks ago, you could have said we were dead on. You could. Most people probably would have said we were dead on for fourth. Now people are saying, we're gonna finish eighth again. Yada yada yada. So I'm not gonna change my opinion on him. I think I'll wait until the end of the season. For me, I'm gonna be consistent with what I said. The goalpost did move where we weren't expected to finish in top four in the beginning of the season. We found ourselves, like an elephant on the top of the tree where you don't know how it got there, but it's there, and we had massive opportunities. And now I don't think I'm not sure if mathematically it's in our hands, but as soon as you have to start saying mathematically, it's
yeah, there's
a
problems.
situation.
Problems.
So
We've got
I'm not gonna judge it. We'll see what happens, but the last 2 games, if that's anything to go by, we're talking. We got. Well, everyone's gonna. We all said this a couple of weeks ago. If
mm,
things don't go away, we're gonna all be like, "Well, January."
yeah. And we'll talk about January in a minute, man. But
Mm.
in terms of, I know you said you're not gonna go on to the dark side in terms of Arteta, but is there a place to kind of question his man management then? Nuno Tavares, obviously, he had a poor match against Crystal Palace, some may say, then he got hauled off. It was an opportunity for him to perhaps be played against Brighton, um,
Mhm,
and he wasn't given an opportunity.
mhm,
And we played
I
Xhaka instead.
There's two sides
mhm,
because he
Mm.
in his last 2 games he's been poor for us. Been subbed near enough in around the halfway mark, and you couldn't. When he was starting early in the season, he wasn't that bad, but you could see he was he was raw, but he's definitely wasn't as bad as how he's been. But there's two sides to it. Do you throw a young player back into that? And he's obviously with him every day. Can he mentally go to be at the Emirates with the home crowd and put in that kind of performance? Like, do you trust him enough to bounce back and put him in there? So
Do you
I think
trust him? Do you trust him though? Like in terms of what you saw, do you trust him? And also as well, before you answer that question, because and I don't want to focus on you too much, but like you see, before this season, we knew the left back position, if Tierney was
mm,
injured, what was a problem. We tried to play Jack at that left back position, it didn't work. So
mm.
we brought Nuno in to kind of cover that position. And now we're kind of saying to him, all right, you had a couple bad matches, maybe one bad match, and we're holding you off and we're not giving you opportunity to kind of prove yourself again. Do you trust Nuno to play in that position, or would you rather have Jacko there?
I wouldn't rather have Xhaka there just because we have no depth really in midfield in terms of quality wise.
Mm.
However, I don't want to be a hypocrite because after the last game, I was like, get him out of here. I was really emotional and
With
angry.
who? Who are you talking about? Sorry.
Tavares, not the last game, sorry, the last game Tavares players, like get him out of here. But I was being like
Mm.
hyperbolic. But at the end of the day, I think that you have to stick with him. And the same with Lokonga or any player actually is a natural in that position as a backup because that's who Arteta bought, right? That's who he bought and brought in. So Injuries happen. That's why you have backups. That's why you have people give competition. Obviously sometimes things don't work the way you've anticipated, but you know, everyone's been raving about like, and so have I, rightly so, the 6 signings that were made in terms of how good the ones that have been starters for us, like your Ramsdales, your Ben White, things like that. That Arteta signs, like, yeah, once he's actually done a proper signing, he's been you know, he's picked quality, you know, these young players. So we're gonna have to give it in the same breath to these ones. So obviously they've not had Europe, very small cup runs to get their rhythm going. But Lokonga hasn't been to the same extent as bad as Tavares has been, and it must be a confidence thing. We saw him at the beginning of the season, but that's a whole other. These are players that you've brought in to be backups. These are the ones you know that you could have this kind of situation. So you have to trust them, and I think going forward, is going to have to trust him.
Yeah.
The question,
passing on. I listen. Look, I think the way Tavares has been treated, we might as well just add this to another list as well. The list. Listen, after a while, I always say one thing is that there's some people who live in life who enjoy to argue with people, and it's always someone else's fault. After a while, you need to ask yourself questions. When you've fallen out with your mom, your dad, your sister, the dog, after a while, there's no one else to fall out with. And I think we're seeing another management or mismanagement again from Senior Arteta again. I mean, this same thing happened. I thought this is Groundhog Day. This happened last season as well when he comfortably finished 8th. Tierney got injured again. Tierney does have quite a few injuries. He decides to let him play, you know, 2 friendlies at 90 minutes. So again, quite negligent from him, very silly from him. He's now injured. In the summer, you said, I need a backup. You identified, you're not Arsenal coach, you're Arsenal manager now. So you get involved in the transfers. You're very good at shipping people out. So I want to see what you're doing, bringing people in. You've gone out of your way to sign Tavares. Now, at the beginning of the season, I thought Tavares played very well. Let's just take on board, he's played at Benfica, it's a big club. He's moved country, probably not his first language. So you need to sit down and let him bed in. I thought he played fantastic. I think the highlight against Leicester was fantastic. I thought, you know what, it's good to have different left backs because Tierney's a little bit more of an overall player. But with him, he is just so dynamic. And you look at him and I thought, you know what, he's not too bad. Maybe not as strong defensively, but he's very comfortable on the ball. He had an iffy game against Liverpool. They're the champions. We've literally been pulling down our pants under Arteta for every game against them anyway. So I don't actually understand why he got hooked for that now. I'm looking at him. He's going to get moved to. They're the best team, one of the best teams in Europe. So against Crystal Palace, I don't actually think he played that bad. I thought everybody played bad.
Yeah, now, to be fair, I agree.
Yeah, everybody
100%.
So he didn't even as bad as.
But I was like, I was not happy with him.
I think with him, I think the reason why it stood out a little bit more is because Tierney got injured, so everybody was kind of focusing on that one. But yeah, I mean, he gets taken off again. So you've humiliated him against Nottingham Forest. You've taken him off again to rejig against Crystal Palace. You're thinking a home game. It's a perfect time, isn't it? Let's keep some balance in the team. Everybody's been raving about Xhaka. So what you decide to do is remove Xhaka, our second best midfield player, allegedly, behind Partey. Partey's got it. So you decide to move him out, ship him left back, and leave Tavares out. It's another bad management. You can't blame Aubameyang now for Gazzi's mum. You can't blame Ozil now for whatever it is. This is your guy. This is your signing. So you live and die by your signing. And the way that you treated this guy is just ridiculous. Putting Xhaka at left back, what sort of message is that? And you know what happened? How did we concede the first goal? Xhaka again out of position.
And not even just that. How do you even? And like exactly what you're saying, Nabir. When you're killing him like that, a home game against a team that, in theory, we should be beating. Okay, with the home crowd, I know that can be a bit of a blessing and a curse depending on the situation, but I feel like we've all seen enough from Tavares in early parts of the season to know that he's got enough attributes in his locker to be able to, you know, perform basically when conditions are a bit more favorable for him. And being at home, being the team that should be in the ascendancy, you know, dominating the ball, etc. That should really work into his hands in that
advantage.
respect.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I feel like if you're not going to play him, if you're not going to bring him in for this game, when is he then going to bring him back in? He's not going to bring him in against Tottenham, Chelsea, West Ham,
Yeah.
Man United. You're not going to play him in
Fact.
any of those games then if you're not going to play him at Brighton at home. So
You know, the funny thing is, what you're saying is complete sense, but he will play him in one of those games. Because now I'm seeing what I know, but he will do. And I'm seeing
because
what I
of
always
probably what
feared,
happened at Brighton.
scrambling.
Yeah.
And guys,
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk
But I said it last week as well, though, Nabir.
Scrambling now.
I said it last week, Nabir, in the show, didn't I? I said, look, I don't want him to put Xhaka at left back. One, he's our slightest player. Don't want him anywhere near left back. And two, you're weakening our midfield, which has already been weakened by not having Partey. It's different if you still had Partey in the team and then he tried that. Because then, do you know what I mean? There's a bit more flexibility. But he's done that and took our most experienced midfielder out of midfield, put a novice who hasn't played for however many months, and then we're just expected that Lokonga's going to run midfield on his own. Like, I just didn't understand it.
But
Let me ask you. Go on.
Why we that game? Sorry,
Go
like I don't. Do you think that's the main reason why? Like, if that didn't happen, would you think we still win that game?
Nah, definitely not. No, it's just only because we was touching on the left back why I mentioned it. But
I think we were poor. We got better in the second half. Formation.
All around the pitch. It was the same as the first game that we played, not Brighton, the Palace game. We was poor all over the pitch.
But
and that's why even when Tavares was brought off,
have we been found out?
Particularly that much worse than everyone else.
Have we been found out, or are we just nervous now after the defeat against Crystal Palace?
We've definitely, as I said, we've spoken about Alexander Lacazette. I've spoken about him, and sometimes I've look back at certain podcasts. I've been a bit, maybe I've been a bit harsh, but now look back at it, I was right with every single thing I've said. But Lacazette is, they've found us out. They've looked at him for, okay, how do they play? The ball goes to Odegaard, the ball goes to Lacazette. Let's just stop it. Lacazette has been found out from that Liverpool game. Now Lacazette is easy going to IKEA and getting the instructions how to build a one-legged chair. It's that easy now for a defender. It's literally like, you know what?
Because he hasn't trained this week.
Who's that?
Oh, Lacazette.
He's not trained this week. So
you
might have Eddie up front. You might have Pepe. We might go.
Do you know what? Do you think?
I actually prefer that.
Do you think it's about time then that we kind of tried something new? Because I mean, if we look at Lacazette's stats, it's like what I think it's 2 goals in 15 games or something like that.
4 goals all season, 2 penalties. So this is his guy though. This is his guy.
4 shots on target in the last 15, 17 games or something like that. Something crazy like that. So it hasn't been great from him. Is it time to kind of try something new? Do you know, a lot of people have been calling out for the likes of Martinelli, even Eddie came on, hit the post, like something new. Would you, Colleen, would you try something different?
I think
even if he was fit.
Now's the point. Now's the time to, because what we're doing currently with the way things are working or not working rather, and the injuries that we have, we do need to get creative. At the end of the day, if we're getting that embarrassed to Crystal Palace and Brighton, it's giving me deja vu of the Emery days, actually, when we missed out. But if we're losing to them already, like, how much worse can it get? Really? They've been trying, I'm hearing about for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, that they've been, trying these false nines and training, I don't know whether it will work. It might be a car crash, but it can't be any more of a car crash than the last 2 games we've seen. Now, it's the opposition that we're going up against in the coming weeks after Southampton. I don't know whether it's the best time to. I'll be honest with you, I honestly don't know what I would do, but this is what Mikel's been employed for. This is employed for. You think being the manager, let alone coach of Arsenal, is going to give you these easy rides, These are the kind of moments where you show your worth as a coach and as a manager. You chose not to sign anyone in January. You chose that this would be the squad. You have to believe in that squad, whether anyone could get injured. You know that can happen. You can't hope for luck. So heavy is the head. He knows his squad. Now's the time to prove his worth. Prove to us that you weren't, just Pep's cone guy. Me personally, I like Arteta, but this is the time where we see whether he's just improved just enough to then change manager again to someone of a higher level, or whether he can rise to that and continue on the trajectory with us. So I don't know what the answer will be, but this is where we're going to see if he's worth his weight in gold here. So we'll see.
I believe he definitely has to change it. Will he change it? I don't think so. But he definitely has to change it, because you can't keep doing the same thing again. As I said, Lacazette, yeah, I've had these discussions with Marcelo, other people. Yeah, he works hard. I'm hearing that he links up play. I mean, this guy's on 180k a week to score goals. I mean, I said that you can get Chris Wood to do them things there if that's what you want to do. He needs to switch it up. We need to be a little bit more dynamic. People are cussing Eddie. I'm not a massive fan either. However, he's younger. He's more dynamic. Even the chance that he hit where it was a good save towards the end. At least he's attacking in the 6-yard box. He's got to try to either put Martinelli there, who's a little bit more dynamic. And at least when you cross the ball in, Martinelli's good in the air as well. You've seen it. I know he scored the header, which was a loud goal. I don't know why that was disallowed.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Or try Pepe. But what's going on? He's still doing the same thing. We've been found out for weeks ago against Liverpool, and he's still doing the same thing.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I don't want to dwell on it, but a lot of people in the group chat have been talking about putting Saka at left back to deputise for Kieran Tierney. Is that an option for you, Kerr, or is that ludicrous?
Do you know what? It's difficult. I'd rather him there than Xhaka. If I'm being honest, because we've seen already anyway in brief time that the few occasions we've seen Saka play there, I think he basically started his Arsenal career there. Like that's kind of where he got his starts for us, wasn't it? And he went on with all them assists and whatever else because he had the game in front of him, innit? But it's one of them things. Look, if Tierney was out for a week or two, yeah. And if this was even potentially a couple of weeks ago, when Pepe had just come back from African nations, still looked like he had a bit of a pep in his step. Yeah. Then I would have turned around and said, you know what, that might not be a bad shout because it's a way of keeping keeping a bit of consistency on the left hand side in terms of a left footer, someone who can play the role, and he's not going to get beaten for pace, etc. Yeah. So you can keep a little bit of continuation, as I say, and then you can probably put Pepe up there, and then you're adding another goal for it, innit? Because then you've got Saka, who when we're in positions where we're attacking, you then basically got two wingers.
Are you asking for too much from him though? Like, if you're putting him at that fullback position,
like I said, if it's for, I don't think it's too much for him. No, definitely not. Not if it's
to be attacking as well, and offering that threat. Going forward,
no, but you got to think. But you look at our left. I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to be like the main outlet on that left hand side, innit? But you've only got to look to how we was playing before, though, with Kieran Tierney, for example, who was our main outlet. So if it was a thing where it was just for a week or two, like I say, you could get away with it. Do you get what I'm saying? And put Saka there and say, yeah, cool, couple games, play Pepe right wing and whatever. And to be honest, if we started a game like that, I'd actually still feel I'd have felt pretty comfortable, being honest. But
are you not worried though, guys? Though with that,
that's where I'm going.
What you're saying, no, okay, guys. I know, obviously, sometimes we want to be positive, and Mikel, you like his hair, and he talks well, and are you guys not looking at this and thinking, what is actually going on here? Saka is just about to get potentially. He is going to be our most expensive player. His roof. Or his ceiling is very high right now. So this is really our number 7. This is going to be our best player. I know Partey is, but this is the main guy.
Yep.
And we're talking about him playing left back now. Are you guys not concerned with this?
No, 100%. And that's where I was going with it. That's where I was going with it, Nabir, because I was just answering the question that the bear threw out there, like, could he do it? Yeah. In that respect, he could do it. But the very next point I was going to go on to was, I don't want him there, though. That's the thing.
Would you play Nuno next match then?
We shouldn't be in that position. I would have played him in the last match. Yeah. Like I said.
But going forward, though.
Yeah. I feel like he has to back him. Like Nabir said, like Colleen said as well, He's the manager. This was his squad. Okay, this is from January. This was the squad that he said, okay, these are the players I'm going with for the rest of the season. Which says to me, with the way that he threw away all the rest of these players, it said to me, the players at his disposal, okay, he trusted. That's what that said to me. I trust these players, barring injuries, this, that, and the other, which are unforeseen circumstances. You know, anything he can control.
But yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, obviously, I know you got your gripe with the Tierney one with the 2 friendlies and that, but yeah, I just feel like it's a bit of a situation where it could have been dealt with differently. And like I said, Arteta, he backed these players, and I feel like he made a bit of a boob in not backing Tavares in the last game, personally.
Oh, fair enough. And in terms of El Neni, not many people have spoken about him. Is there a place for him in this first 11? You know, with all the injuries that we've got, I'm gonna go to you, Colleen. You've been nodding your head. What you got to say about that?
I think so, but I don't think in Southampton. I think initially, my initial thinking was when I wasn't sure what Arteta was going to do in terms of if injuries and things like this stay the same. I can't imagine Arteta going to Stamford Bridge or Spurs away with the same kind of midfield that he started with at the Emirates against Brighton. I can see him reverting back to a pivot again, if I'm honest with you, for that kind of extra security. And then, you're not going to have, you can't ask Smith Rowe or Erdegaard to drop into those kind of positions. One of them's going to have to be on the bench, and it's going to be El Neni to come in with Lokonga. That's how I see it going. I don't know, but that's a place for him for what I saw. I didn't see it happening at Brighton, so I thought it'd be too conservative at home. I thought surely we can still have, we can drop an like Erdogan or Smith Rowe to play as a 6 instead, and just have Lokonga as the lone one in midfield. But it didn't work out. But you can't do that at Stamford Bridge, and you can't do that away to Spurs. So you can't even do it at home to United, as poor as they are. So I can see him going a bit more conservative. If he doesn't, he's got some balls then, because he clearly believes in what he's doing. He thinks it's going to click in the latter part of the season. But I think that's the safest option. Whether that helps us going forward in terms of winning games is another thing. Whether that stops us being embarrassed is also another thing. I don't know whether the two are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
The thing with that formation though, as well, that we played is they I don't know about the rest of you guys, but on the weekend playing the Lokonga thing, what I've wanted to see him try something like that, but with our actual fit squad. So when you've had Tierney and you've had Partey and then man there, instead of Xhaka in that 8 role, I've wanted to see a Smith Rowe there or whatever. Like just a little experiment, even if it's half hour to go in a game or whatever. But he tried it in this game and it just didn't work out, did it?
You don't change a winning team, and we were just on the bounce, and then
but you kind of got to prepare yourself for these situations, because it's a bit like the forward situation as well, isn't it? Like Laka, he was never going to play every game for the rest of the season, and now we're all talking about, should we try something? We should have been trying stuff with 20 minutes to go or 15 minutes to go from weeks ago.
Yeah. There was no experiments going on. Not enough anyway. Nabeer, you mentioned something a couple of weeks back where you said that, if we win our next 3 matches, so you included Crystal Palace, Brighton and Southampton in this, then we will get top 4. Obviously that hasn't happened. We've lost 2 of those matches so far. In terms of top 4 then, where do you position us? Where do you see this? What's the outcome? Do you still think we can get top 4, or is this not a possibility anymore?
No, it's gone now. It's done. And what we're doing, we're just now, unfortunately, as Arsenal fans, we're just literally, I kind of feel like we're on death row now. We're literally just having that slow. We might as well just prepare, go and order fish and chips, Colleen, some steak. We're having our last meal, because
you really
I'll be honest
it's
with
done
you,
though. It's done.
Why does she get steak and I get fish and chips, bro? What's going on?
Because you're invincible, bro.
You know what? That's what it is,
chips, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Come on.
I'll let you run with that still.
but literally, you know what? I would love to start. I told you we needed to win those 3 games. If we actually won those 3 games, we could have kind of gone in to take on the bigger so-called teams. But he's flunked his lines again. The thing is, what you got to ask yourself is quite simple. It's okay, are we because where we are, we've still got a game in hand. If we win that, then we go equal points. The question you need to ask is, who is going to score the goals to win the game?
Yeah.
Because now what I'm seeing is because of your lack of transfer activity and I'll save my last comment until the end of the season. But let me just be polite and be as positive as I can. Bar that debacle that was in January and not deciding to sign anybody, what's going on is the players where they're supposed to play and make an impact. So you had Xhaka probably playing decent football since I've seen him, in 5 years in his position now. You had Partey now. Now it seems because of your silly decisions and the injuries now being picked up and not the backup, now the good players are being moved from their position into other positions to cover. So now you're asking, okay, are we potentially going to play Saka at left back? He was our top goal scorer. So he was like one of the goal threats. I don't know who's scoring. I'll tell you one thing, Laka, and he is my Arsenal player, and I'll try to support him as much as I can. He ain't scoring. Just look, forget it. No, forget it. So you need to ask me who is scoring. You're shipping Smith Rowe from on the left. He's coming off the bench. Martin. Honestly, I can't see where any of the goals are coming from.
Yeah, I agree.
At all.
I can't
So,
see where the goals are
I
coming from.
can't either.
If we do turn it around and we go on this amazing run,
I'm optimistic. I'm
Yeah,
optimistic.
I was gonna say, like,
I'm not.
Celine, talk to me.
I'm not. I'm
I
looking
need some
at Spurs,
positivity,
man.
man.
I'm
not
not.
because of us. It's not because of us. I don't think we're turning it around because of us. I've been saying since January, right? Arsenal, United, Spurs are all in this position because we're all fucking hopeless. You understand? Just because Tottenham's now, Son and Kane are, I'm trying not to be biased, right? But no team of us three in the mix, and I still believe United is still in the mix, mathematically and whatnot. I'm not going to count them because they have a brilliant squad, just can't click really and whatnot. We're all in this situation because of shit like this. Your Brightons, your Crystal Palace, and these kind of performances, you're like, how? Like, how has this happened? Spurs are going to lose. It just depends on how many points everyone's going to drop. Spurs will drop points. So will United, and I believe we will again. We're not obviously not going to not drop points again. They look like they're in a good moment, but we were in a good moment for about 5 weeks. Who would have thought we would have dropped these against these games?
Let me just
Khalil, the thing.
That's true, but
you see, the thing is, Khalil, what you're saying is true. But the thing is, if we look at what Spurs are doing and what we were doing, let's just be real. I said it last week. We haven't actually put many teams away 4-0, 4-1.
Exactly what I was just going to say.
Look at their attacking threat.
Yeah, it's a joke. Even when they're not on job.
5-2. With us, you're right. There's some games, especially the Watford game. Colleen, that was one of the weirdest games because I'm watching it and I was thinking, I actually feel quite comfortable here. I'm like, you know what? This is 3 points. But then we made it hard. We only won by 1 goal. So that's the thing. It's the lack of goals. If we were scoring goals,
they have a lot of goals in the team.
Same with Villa, same with Leicester when we played all them teams.
They should have been out of Wolves. In front of us a long time ago.
No, that's true.
Coming down to 8 games. I just think because of the history of this season, it's not over yet. I don't want to give you false hope because it's a ton of misery, but I'm not.
But it's the hope that kills us, man.
Let me just throw in a stat that since Conte's come in, no other team has scored more goals, barring Liverpool and Man City, than Tottenham.
Yeah.
So the Conte effect has been wild, to be fair.
And you know what's so interesting is that sometimes what is the best form of defense? Sometimes it's attack. And this is the same sort of football. Do you remember when we used to get top 4 in the regs? We had some shaky defenders, boy, but we did know. Yeah,
how to score goals.
Do you know what? I was actually looking at like who are the top scorers in the Premiership currently, and you see, the likes of Salah and Jota and Mane, and you see the likes of Kane, you see the likes of Son. Those guys are up there, and then you go all the way down to like 18th or something, and you see Saka. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's horrible, and that's one of the key things. I think that January signing of Kodosensky or whatever his name is,
was good player for them.
Oh, he's
Kulusevski.
deadly. Yeah, he's deadly. I ain't gonna lie, he's deadly. And the way he links up Son and Kane, it's just crazy, man. And the way that even that Kane's dropping deep and then laying off the balls to the likes of Son, etc. I don't like.
I'm gonna have to start spraying you.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. But
Man.
let me say something to you though, Colleen, because in terms of like, so you still think top four's still a possibility?
It's most certainly still a possibility. Whether we're like, the most probable to do it at this position is a different story. But it's still a possibility. Until it's not a possibility, that is unrealistic. And I don't think it's unrealistic right now, but we are quickly getting to the point where it will be unrealistic. If we play like the last 2 games, it is unrealistic.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're there yet to be like 100% it's not happening, because United fans have been saying that for ages. They're only 3 points off.
I know she too.
Game in hand. I just think things can change too quickly for me to be like, keep saying it could happen, couldn't happen. My stance is we should be getting top four, like I've been saying for the past month or two. And if we don't, I don't care of the extenuating circumstances. I don't care if our team's young. I don't care of the injuries. We've been knowing this. We've been knowing this before we came into the season. And I'm just fed up with all the crap excuses. Especially, I hate the young team one. I hate it, because if that's the plan, and this whole like, they're a young team, their confidence is, it's like a flower, yada yada yada. There's pressure. Like, so what were you expecting? Because there's pressure at every element. There's pressure to get back into Champions League. Well, if the target was to make sure we get back into the Europa League, because we wasn't in the Europa League last, we were finishing 8th. So if that wasn't the pressure, there's pressure there. If you manage to get into a FA Cup semi-final, there's pressure there. If you try and get to a final, I'm not having it. I'm not. Sorry, I don't care. If they're young, but they've got experience. These aren't people who just walked out the academy yesterday. I'm not having it. Sorry.
Yeah, you're definitely a lady on a mission this week. I can feel the fire. I can feel the fire in you. But would Europa indicate a poor season for you? Because obviously, at the beginning of the season, I don't think any of us, correct me if I'm wrong, would have said we're going to get top 4.
I said top 4 or bust. I did say top 4 or bust.
It's always you, isn't it? All right.
No, but I did say top. I said top 4, no excuses, or bust. And now, I'm not saying it was sincere what I was saying, but it was basically saying we're not playing in Europe. We've been given all this money.
Yeah.
So top 4 or bust. That's what I said.
Would it indicate a bad? I know it would for you, Naber, then, but would it indicate a bad season for you? I'll ask her if we did get Europa, if we finish just outside the top 4.
Look. It's a bit of a merry-go-round, isn't it? Because, like you said, I will agree with what you said in terms of obviously beginning of the season. We weren't expected to get it if we looked at the teams in front of us or whatever, or if we compared our squads to some of the other squads. We didn't look as strong, so I wouldn't say it's guaranteed. Completely taking the Bears' point though, that obviously being not in Europe, it should have been something where we were challenging. I didn't want to see us out of a top 4 challenge at Christmas, for example. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that would have been a no-go. So I wanted to see us at least in and around those kind of teams, innit? But I was expecting that come the end of the season, we would have faded, if I'm being honest. And I would have said, top 6. However, like what Colleen also said, and this is what I mean about the merry-go-round, it's a fluid situation. It changes. The season's changed. The expectations have changed. What we've seen from other clubs has also changed because what I was expecting of other teams at the beginning hasn't materialized either. So with all of that said, I feel like the final, how many games we got left? 8?
8.
Yeah, 8 more games.
I feel like the final 8 games is where I'm going to be making that decision. In terms of failure or success, because if we pick it up, for example, now and remain competitive now until the end of the season, for example, win some of the big games, I don't know, get a result against Tottenham, for example, beat Man U at home, whatever, give Chelsea a good game, win a few of our other games around that, and we miss out by a point, I'll turn around and say, do you know what? I'm not happy because, since Christmas, I've been gunning for this top 4. So I'm not gonna lie, like I've wanted it. Like I've been dreaming about it every day since it looked like it was a possibility, innit, from Christmas. But if that happens, like I just said, and we miss out by a point, I'll take it on the chin. I'm not going to be calling for Arteta to be sacked. If I'm being honest, that's me. I wouldn't be calling for him to be sacked. And I'd say, look, hopefully we have a good summer. We go again next year. If, however, we continue the form we've been showing in our last 2 matches, in the next 2 matches, for example, and, you know, our season then pitters out and we end up behind United and Spurs, for example, come the end of this season, then
will you be calling for his head?
Questions. Yeah? I don't know if it's calling. I don't know. That's tough to say. But an inquiry definitely needs to be had, because, like I say, because then that's when all his decisions are going to come back to bite him. January, like what we've all been saying. Yeah. January is going to be a big. We're all going to be asking these questions, man. So it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah, I listen. That to top 4 for me is if we get Europa League, it's definitely a failure. It's another failure, because I'm looking at this and thinking you've had 2 seasons here. Well, this is going to be the 3rd now, or 2.5, however people want to spin it. You finished 8th. You've come again. You finished 8th. You're not playing European football now. For you to tell me you're going to finish in the same position that you said was good for a year. So basically, that's a child saying to me that I'm looking at your grades. You're getting an E in maths. You're telling me I'm doing English, science. I'm doing too many subjects. I'm saying, do you know what? Okay, we're locking off the other 2. Make sure you get a B or okay, yeah, and you're still failing maths. So you're playing less, you're studying less, and you're still coming with the same grade. I'm sorry, you can spin it any way you want. There was a lot of Arsenal fans that were like, the first time we've been out of Europe in 25 years, for you now to just go back into the Europa League. So what progress is that?
What's your
Somebody
stance
has to explain to me.
If we get like 6th, 7th position, you know, is it a suckable friend? No, all right. Well, let's talk about if we get Europa then. Yeah, because I got Colleen mad there. I don't want to get her mad.
No, you don't.
So what has happened? No, but so what? So
what's a sackable offense for you?
Personally, I think personally, look, if he doesn't get top 4 this season, with all of the blighs you've had, you spent the most in Europe in the transfer window in the summer. You've had everything, every fight you've wanted. You're shipping out people left, right, and centre. And do you know what's happening when you've been shipping them out? Arsenal fans need to allow this talk, because I'm hearing this all season. Oh, yeah, Guendouzi, you don't even know, man. Oh, yeah, nah, he's a troublemaker. Who told you this? Oh, I trust Arteta. Man's in the French squad with Deschamps. Oh, Aubameyang, he's washed now. Fair enough. Go and get a replacement. No, you chase him out. Man's going to touch that Champions League music again, you know. We're not, though, but he is again. The same thing we did again. Oh, yeah, La Liga. La Liga doesn't suit, you know. It suits him. That's why we're better. Another excuse from Arsenal fans. Then Unai Emery. Oh, I'm happy with the fact that he's doing well for other teams. He's taken Villarreal to the Europa League and he's won it. And now he's in the what? The semi-final of the Champions League. But no, I think we've got the better deal with Arteta. Are you man mad? I know. Are you seriously? No, honestly, are you lot just making excuses for the sake of it now? Or are we real haters? Sometimes you've got to say,
I don't know. I think I'm one of them guys, you know.
No, bro, I can click. No, there's some man.
I can't lie. I think I'm one of them guys, bro. Like with the Emery thing, I can't get with it, man. I can't get with it like that. He's a good coach. He's a good coach. I can't thingy him. But the football I was seeing, though, under him, bro, I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it.
Nabil, would you agree with the stance that with Emery, he's great in cup competitions, but in terms of the league, he hasn't proven. He's 7th in the league with Villarreal.
No, let me tell you
7th in the league.
From where Villarreal are, at least he's good at something. Firstly, now with
Whoa.
because I'm not seeing any cup or league stuff from my guy. But you see, with Emery now, yeah, what people need to take into there's context to this. Emery has just come in after 23 years of the same man. It's very different landscape than what Arteta's dealing with. Arteta kind of had like a blank canvas. Oh yeah, look, it's not working out. So he's done that. No matter what you say about the football, we were getting peppered with shots. I'll admit that. But now, my man took us to a European final because now Arteta and the Artesexuals are complaining. I'm happy to be with
the one European final he's ever bloody lost is with Arsenal. The Arsenal.
No, but you know what is Kalino?
And we got hurt.
No,
it was
at
it
least
wasn't just a loss. It was
it was bad. But at least he's not using the same excuses that we're using now. Oh, let's come out of Europe so we can concentrate on the league. He lost out by a point, and you man are happy with fifth. So what you're saying, I'm actually happy with fifth with Arteta now, with no Europe, but under Arteta, under Emery, man, then please.
Do you know
please wake up.
I feel like at that point though, we were still in a bit of a sleepy state, man. under Emery, man.
Let's go back to bed if you're going to finish fifth a point off 4 and that. Yeah,
because I feel like we still expected something, innit? Like, you know, like at that point, we were still talking like what Khalid just said. Like we are the Arsenal. But I feel like we needed to like rip it up, man. I feel like it needed that.
Do you know, it wasn't until you were talking, slight pivot, but as soon as you were talking, it just made me think about our chance of getting back into the Champions League. And I actually think that we have to have Champions League secure with a game to spare, because our last game is against Everton, who could be fighting for their lives to stay in the Premier League on the last game of the season, you know. And I know you get these all the time, but like Everton, I know like a lot of younger fans, like people who are my age, unlike the rest of you here.
Wow! Wait, listen! The cat's out today.
She came in like butter with a melt, yeah, and now she's firing shots all over the place.
They are giants of the league, not necessarily Premier League era, but as in English football in the first division.
They're royalty.
That is, I think that's going to be very. If they're not already get relegated by then, we could, and we need to fight for fourth. We could be in some trouble there. We could be in some trouble there. You know?
We've got Man United. We've got West Ham, Chelsea, Tottenham.
It's difficult because I don't think any team has a game to spare.
I agree with Colleen, I ain't gonna lie, because I looked at that fixture myself and thought everyone was taking it as 3 points. Oh, Everton are bad. But bro, like they're gonna be fighting. Like Colleen just said, they're gonna be fighting. That's not gonna be an easy game.
Hopefully they're relegated by then, or they're safe by then. Either or.
Every team, but even Crystal Palace are safe, and that's an achievement already. And they batted us up. I'm telling you now.
And Brighton, who have been crap for weeks as well. Brighton have been useless, and then they just moved to us.
Say that again, Colin.
In the context of, say we do turn things around, and we're not even far off Tottenham, but like if we turn things around in terms of performances, we start wrapping some wins, and it comes down to, say, for instance, we're in the position where if we win on the last day, we've got Champions League. Doesn't matter if the score. Imagine because that is a very real possibility that could happen. I don't want to be in that position, knowing if Everton aren't already relegated or safe, and there's a good chance that they will be fighting for their life on the last day. So if those two possibilities happen, it's almost like lasagna gate all over again with Spurs. It's not gonna be a great. I don't think I'd be able to watch that game. Let alone I think
you don't go on.
I think I'll be done by then. I want to come back on this podcast, and I want you to just bad me up. That's what I want to happen. Like, I know it sounds mad, but I actually want you to say shame, keep quiet,
told you
and
so.
I'll be like that.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand up to talk and ask for your opinion. But I think we're going to be finished by then. Yeah, we'll be finished by then. We'll be
If we carry on with the football that we played in the last week, then it will be done by then. I'm going to ask a mad random one. You talk about, and everyone's going to say, "Are you mad?" But you talk about this great Man United squad, Colleen. Is their squad that great though? Like, and barring outside, I know she's giving me the face already. Outside of Ronaldo, yeah, like I would say, all right, we'll go to Pogba. He hasn't really done anything in the Premiership. Like, yeah, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen him in terms of consistency. I haven't seen him do anything in the last how many years he's been at Man United. Jadon Sancho, I feel Saka is better than him. He's offered more. Yeah, you've seen Sancho in for Dortmund, and he did look quite good. But in the Premiership, see Lukaku in the Italian league was one thing, but him in the Premiership, it's a different thing. Look at Harry Maguire. De Gea can't play out from the back. Is this team are they that great?
Well,
Are
you
they
have
sleeping giants?
You have a point to a degree, but I said this to someone yesterday. I was just like, since Fergie left, name me any player who United have bought and have either, when they've come in, they've maintained consistently that high level that they bought them at, or got better.
Yeah.
Even Fernandes is having a drop off now.
Yeah, no, for real. It's just the curse of Man United.
They have great individuals, like Pogba for France, different player. And yes, you can talk about tactics and systems, but when you have like 9 years of they've never improved a player that they've bought. And I'm not even saying that because I'm not a United
Yeah, for real.
Like, who have they sold on where they've got for like a profit who wanted away? They haven't. Who has consistently been at a top level because they bought top level players. We can't say they haven't. They've not been buying.
Yeah. They definitely bought a name brand.
There's something seriously wrong with the culture of that club. I don't know what it is. And I know I hate saying that because it doesn't feel tangible, because what is the culture of a club? Like, how can it affect them to this degree? But whatever's going on there, something's not right to have it across 9 years and none of those things occur. But in an individual level, I think a bit sorry for Harry Maguire, actually.
I do as well.
But I think if you put him back in that Leicester team or another team, he's not that bad.
I was saying that the other day.
I'm not saying he's class. He's not as bad as how he's at United, and I think that goes for a lot of them. Because what United player right now do you go, oh, do you know what? Top class. I want them in my team. Currently, how they've been playing, or their duration of their United career. Not one of them.
I think you're not. Yeah, I think we have to be careful. I get what you mean about. I just think we're those neighbours that, we are laughing at the dustbins of number 56, but right now we're chatting, and then right now there's a fox and just eating Jermaine's chicken wings that his wife said to put in the bag and put in the bag. You didn't do it, and you just left it there. But I'm not
every week, man.
Colleen, you're right about in terms of Man United, but I think even when you look at our team as well, I mean, I can't. Where's the last time we finished above them? As bad as they've been for 9 years, and it's true. You're right, because they're trying to be aiming to be the best in Europe again. I actually genuinely believe they are one coach away. If they get a decent coach, I think you're gonna. Well, Ten Hag is coming in, so I think that might definitely change the culture. If we stick with Arteta, boy.
I was thinking, how is he circling this back to Mikel?
Yeah, I don't think we should be. I don't think United. Arsenal fans. I don't think we're in a position to chat about United.
Yeah, I think
not with
the thing that got to me, like personally, with the whole Arteta situation was January, and was the fact that we were in a position where we can get the top four. All we needed to do was get the right players to bring us forward. We saw that Vlahovic, we spent too much time in terms of trying to get him, but there was a likes of Bruno Guimaraes, who went to like Newcastle, and he looks like a bad boy. Like, I'm thinking, like, he's mocking us in his video, his intro.
When he signed,
we definitely. I feel like we had the opportunity to get him. Do you know what I'm saying? And we spent all this time trying to get a striker that we weren't going to get. He was always going to go to Juventus. And we didn't shore up that midfield, because the midfield and up front was something we had to do. And that's the problem I do fear with Arteta, is that he looks to the plan A every time, but he never has a plan B. with a lot of situations, you know. So like you said, like testing out the players, you know, bring him on for the last 20 minutes to see how it works out with other players, etc. We never really done much of that, to be fair. He done better with his substitutions, but he hasn't really done great in terms of we went gung-ho on trying to get Vlahovic and we didn't get him. It was a plan B. Why are we wasting how many weeks on trying to get one player? That does concern
the
me.
same could apply to Mikel. No one ever thinks about this as a manager. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just, from what you've said, it's almost like when you have a young player. This is Arteta's first managerial job, where he's gone from coach to a manager, and it's almost like I do like Arteta, but I do kind of feel like the board have kind of said, you know, we know he's going to make mistakes, but we believe he's going to take us there.
Yeah.
Essentially, similar to how you are with a young player, but I don't think you can be like that with a manager. I don't think you can be. Well, you can't be like that, and
Not when you're Arsenal.
Yeah,
Not
exactly. But that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. But I don't want to be too damning until the season's done, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, and to be
But
fair,
some people will be happy with finishing sixth.
No, we
No,
can't.
do you know
I
what?
don't think you'd be damning enough.
I don't think no one will be happy, but I do think that there is moments. We've seen moments of progress with Arteta. Yes, it has fallen apart, but I do think that January was a mistake that a young manager has made, and the likes of Edu, etc. It's not just him. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of took us back as well. I think sometimes as well that the man management has been poor. I mean, I look at the likes of Guendouzi right now, and I'm thinking this guy is due to be one of the world's best in a few years' time. Only 22, yeah, and we let him go for like £9 million.
Listen, if we
I think this.
No one questions it. But
say it again.
If we easily get Champions League and we start winning,
facts, yeah.
But he's not there, and he's not there for no one to question it. So until you prove your weight, these questions are gonna be there.
Yeah.
If he gets top 4, that's fair enough. But look, I've got some stats that I'm looking at now. When Doozy shipped out, we could have used him. Okay, you shipped out Oba and you've refused to get a replacement. You've wasted time again there. You've bought a left back. Well, you send a left back that we've got Tierney to play 2 friendlies and don't put your foot down. He's injured. You then go and buy another left back in the summer, Tavares. You don't trust him. Since Oba has gone and everybody's saying he ain't been performing, please name me under Arteta one striker that's actually been prolific.
Yeah, no, it's not been.
She's killed strikers. And can you tell me the only striker that we've got on a contract? No, the only striker that we've got on a contract past 2 years. Do you know who it is? It's Balogun, and he's on loan at Middlesbrough. The 2 strikers that he's kept are going in the summer. So tell me what progress are you?
You could include Martinelli. For me,
this is
a future striker or forward.
Well, he's not play. Well, we're questioning.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
To play up front. So what I'm seeing for the first time in since I've supported Arsenal, this is the worst array of strikers I've ever seen. Even when we were shipping goals left, right, and centre, there was always you had Van Persie. I mean, on right, then you had Henry, Adebayor stepped up, Eduardo stepped up, Van Persie stepped up. Now I'm looking at it thinking, we've got Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah, and they still can't score goals.
Why did you stop there at right? We all know you're older than that. Name the striker before.
You're right. All right, we're gonna go there. Then we're gonna go Alan Smith as well. Yeah, Alan Smith as well. To be fair, we'll do Alan Smith.
Shots being fired everywhere. Hey.
But literally from I started watching Arsenal, let's just say 1988, 87. This is the worst.
That's when you started watching them.
What, under Bruce Rioch, bro? Bruce Rioch, bro.
Now, 87 was George Graham. But what I'm saying is that this is the worst I've seen. And you man are saying, and then you know what happens when they're out of contract? What happens in the summer then? You need to sign not 1 striker, you need to sign 2. So you need to be spending big money again.
But
you know us, Arsenal fans will find a way to.
We need that anyway.
It's in safe hands.
We'll find a way to spin that though, the bear. Just like we did at them times there, you know, like at the beginning of this season when we was all talking about when we went out of Europe and we was all sitting there going, I was hearing all them fans coming out going, yeah, but you know the last time we dropped out of any European competition, we signed Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah. You see?
Bro, where was
See?
that in his first camp, bro? Like,
Bro,
we
no,
will
but
find a
Yeah,
way
yeah,
to
yeah,
spin
yeah.
it, bro. We will always find a
listen,
way.
guys, we are having some serious problems. I don't know what's going on, but we are literally coasting
The beer.
towards mayhem right here now. And I've named you these things, what's going on. You're falling out with top players. You ain't got no strikers. You can't, bro, it's looking bad. Very
Bro,
bad. If we don't get
let me ask
Champions
you a
League,
question. Let me ask you an honest question. If you were having a celebration, would you invite Arteta?
I would invite Arteta. I would invite Arteta. Listen, I don't despise Arteta. Listen, I love Arsenal Football Club. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he came in. I could see that he likes Arsenal Football Club, but sometimes you've got to be right. And look, I'm not going to go in and try something where I know I'm failing at. I haven't got anything personal, Arteta. I don't want to start cussing him. If you see him on the road and his family, respect him. I'm not one of those fans. But what I'm not going to accept is the fact that the mistakes that you're making are not even difficult ones, isn't it? Like I'm looking at this and thinking you're not really up for this.
Mhm.
And Arsenal, it's only because our owners are behaving in a lazy way. Everybody's new because if this was anybody else, look at what's happened to Tottenham Hotspur. They wanted Conte. Conte chiefed them like Vlahovic chiefed us in the summer. He said, "I'm not coming to you." They went and got Nuno. Yeah, this is the difference of Tottenham. This is why they've now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to make top 4, but I'm saying they're giving it a good go now because they sat down as a board and said, "You know what? Hold on a second. This ain't the right man. You know, no. Go back in again and get my guy. That's the guy I want. Go back. They've got Conte back in. He's coming. He's done well. Then he started to flounder. What they've done in January, they've added. Here's Benton Kerr. Here's Kulusevski. You see
Bad
how
boy
they're
signings
moving.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Man United again. They're not here. Look, Man City did it. They're not messing about Pellegrini in this one. They knew that's the guy that I want, and we're gonna have to make a move. We're the only club that are standing still and making rubbish excuses since the day that he walked in. I watched it on Sky Sports News. I said, Vinay, oh my God, I thought we were getting Ancelotti. That's the only reason I said Unai's going. I thought, Ancelotti, do you know what? He'll invite the place. Forget what's happened at Everton. Even Pep will flop at Everton. That club's just cursed. But I'm thinking, what? Arteta, bro, we're just still sitting and you man want to waste another season.
You know what you do
Tottenham
now?
in the Champions League now, man.
We're gonna end it with now. Yeah, we're gonna
What,
end it
you done
soon.
with him then, Naber? You
Yeah,
done
because
with him?
bro, you've not seen no progress. Obviously, he's made huge
What
mistakes which have
progress have
held
I
us
seen?
back. But you're telling me that in terms of the certain players that he got out, you know, the
You
likes of
started to soften a bit.
Socrates, David Luiz, certain man had to go. Ozil, like he's had to clear out the players that he's brought in. You know, he's brought some good players in, bro.
Tavares, you don't want to use him.
Right. Tomiyasu, Ben
Yeah,
White.
he's not. No, as I said, Ben White is my player of the season. But hold on, you're lowering the wage bill. Then go and sit
Yeah,
upstairs,
yeah.
put a suit on, and do that. I'm not interested in them things. I'm interested in what you're doing on the pitch. And I'm looking at the pitch, and I'm not seeing any. Guys, I'm not seeing it. For me personally, I'm not. We've sacked Wenger, our
Bears
greatest
done.
ever manager, for less. I'm sorry, the way you man move with Wenger, I'm thinking you're moving with him. He's put up 3 Premier League titles, and you want to give this guy more time. Emery, you're cussing him off, but he didn't finish 8th twice. That's for
All
sure.
right, you don't
Aubameyang
like
won the
it.
Golden
Well,
Boot.
one of those 8th place finishes was partly to do with Emery, though.
Exactly.
Don't forget that,
Bro,
bro.
it wasn't
But look at
to
the
do with
position we was in.
Emery.
Why we
But
even
we had all
hired?
those players as
Why
well.
we
We
even
didn't
hired
have
Arteta?
Arteta's players.
We hired Arteta for that very reason, bro. Because of where we was going with Emery.
Bro,
The
we
football
were
was
in
terrible
8th.
at the end. You have to admit, it was. I
Listen,
was ready
Has the
to
football
end.
been?
Yeah, it
No,
was horrible,
listen,
man. We were
the
getting
football-
bullied week in, week
We're
out.
getting peppered by Fulham.
The
Yeah.
football wasn't great, but we were in 8th position. Back the man. Back him like you backed Arteta. You give man nearly 200 million. Back him. Do you know who Emery asked for? Zaha, Partey, Maguire.
Yeah.
You come back with Pepe and bro, I'm just saying, give experienced managers some time. The same time that you're giving Arteta, we should have given Emery. And we could chat all we want. Emery's in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. So for me, that's like me getting dumped by my girlfriend, and then now
But there is a difference there, though,
and you're telling me
the way he does it, though, there is a difference. No, I'm just saying because, like, when you look at Arsenal fans, yeah, like you said as well, coming off of the back of a Arsene Wenger era, yeah, who put his imprint on our club, the way we play football, etc., the expectations of how we expect football to be played as well, yeah. And then we've gone to Emery, and then seen that basically like completely fall apart, bro.
But Kurt, it's gonna take time.
No,
And let
I
me
don't
say
The
one
way
thing
he
with
plays football, though, I don't
But
think
bro,
even by giving him time that we was then
Okay.
going to be a
Bro, I didn't even-
dominant team. Like
But
the
we've
way he
broken
plays football, it suits him
Yeah.
to be with a team that can sit back, soak pressure, and play counter-attacking football.
But we
They can
we
accept that
have-
at places like Villarreal and
Listen,
Sevilla and things like that,
listen,
bro.
but we
At
have
Arsenal-
broken every record under Arteta. It's the first time we lost nearly 4 games in a row at home. He's lucky COVID was here. Every record you're looking at, the first time
Emery
at
broke some
Outlook in
records too,
25
bro.
years.
Emery broke some records
What?
too.
Even on a 22 unbeaten game run.
Yeah, he did. He did. But
Arteta goes on
Arteta's been on
3
some unbeaten
and us-
runs too. Arteta's been on some unbeaten runs, and during that 22 unbeaten run, how many? There were so many performances in that where we was like, how the hell
Unconvincing.
did we come out
Unconvincing.
with anything in that game? Like you
Bro,
can't
yes.
tell me we went on a
That's
22
fact. That's
game.
fact. That's
But
fact.
but you know what's
Like,
you
we
know what's
weren't
so interesting?
rampaging,
We
bro.
can, but listen, we can argue about where the good performances, what wasn't good, but we finished the point off top 4.
I just feel like you're giving Emery too much like thingy for
Oh,
what
if
he
you're not-
done here, bro. Like he didn't.
But
He,
what
like,
is
he didn't-
Arteta
he-
done though, bro? You're just
But
telling me
yeah,
about
but the difference
he's
is
bringing down the
though, I'm
wage
actually
bill.
yeah, but I'm starting to actually see something though with Arteta. I've started to see that from a little while back. With Emery, I didn't see anything, bro. Like we was
But you've
playing
had 2.5
horrid,
years of Arteta.
and it seemed like we was getting worse and worse rather than improving.
Yeah,
I
bro.
don't feel like under Arteta we've got worse and worse and worse and worse. I don't feel like that.
I just don't feel it was working with Emery, to be grand. And towards the end as well, I understand him in terms of not giving him time. And
Yeah,
you're not
I
gonna
get
have
that part. I get that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the fact he didn't get the signings he wanted.
But
But
yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Well, at least we know how to keep Kerr awake, because clearly talking about in comparison to Arteta, it's not him.
For real.
I literally told ready to go.
Talk about
I know,
Emery
man.
still.
The shot. Okay, so now you're working your way around the room, Colleen. I see you.
I see what she's doing this week, you know.
I see
what
her
she's doing
too.
this week.
Everyone's getting one.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
next, JR, you know. You're next.
I
bro.
know. She's Brett. But listen, we're gonna bring the show to an end, but we're gonna end on a positive note because I'm gonna ask you guys your predictions for the Southampton match, and I'm hoping they're gonna be positive. So I'm not gonna start off with the bear because I am worried. Colleen, what's the score gonna be away from home? Bearing in mind they just lost 6-0 to Chelsea.
So we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I am gonna be positive. I'm gonna predict an Arsenal win. I don't know. Don't ask me the logistics of how it was gonna occur. I don't know how Southampton are gonna perform because they're gonna have to put in a better performance, especially defensively. They can't, get smacked 2 games in a row at home.
Tell me he's gonna score for us though. And what's the score?
Martinelli, please.
Jeez,
Maybe Gabriel
okay.
from a corner. Maybe
Okay.
hopefully Saka won't get doubled up across and then won't get kicked to bits. We
What's the
have
score?
goals, it's just not consistent. I'm gonna go with 2-1, hopefully.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, I'm gonna
Well,
go to you next, bro. What's the
Are we at
score
home
against
or away?
Southampton? We're away.
does it matter at this point?
Yeah.
Like,
I know what you mean. For me, it does a little bit though, just because they've just been spanked 6-0, like what JR said. So they're going to be in front of their home crowd.
didn't they get spanked at home?
Yeah, they did.
They did, but that's my point. They're not going to want to do that again, are they? 2 weeks on the trot.
Remember
Like
they lost
you're
to
going to get a
9-0.
reaction, and that
Yeah.
Hasselhouten, like he's got this thing. Like Southampton have been beat before, like by these dramatic scorelines, but they still know, like on any given day, they can always turn up and give a team a good game. And I'm not expecting this to be a walk in the park for the simple fact that we're not scoring a lot of goals, and the simple fact that they're going to try, like we say, their hearts out, and we don't exactly get any rubber the green.
What's the
So
score,
I'm
big
gonna
man?
go
What's the
with
score, big man?
1-1.
Oh, bro, 1-1.
1-1, bro.
Oh my days.
1-1.
Oh,
Believe
man.
me, I don't want it to be the case, bro. But 1-1.
It's all good. Just a week ago, Nabe, we're gonna end with you. In fact, I'm going to say my one actually first. So I think hopefully,
Keep the viewers waiting.
yeah. I'm going to say we're going to get a 3-1 victory.
Jesus.
I thought I was optimistic.
Yeah,
That is.
Three goals.
Hear the mad thing about it though. Lacazette's going to score. Remember I told you, yeah? 3-1.
You said that last week, no?
I know. I was hoping no one remembered, but I did. So I'm trying to bring it to intuition. So hopefully it happens. So Nabeer, what's it gonna be, bro?
I reckon I'm literally torn from a defeat. I think it's gonna get worse.
Defeat, bro. They just lost 6-0, bro.
But it don't matter, because I'll tell you one thing. I think we're very, very easy to play against. That's what I'm saying. These
12 games
yeah.
before they booked
If
us.
you haven't, as I said, if you haven't won in how many games, but I'm gonna try to be a bit positive and say I think we might get a draw.
Wow.
We might get a draw. You know, bro? What have you been watching the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm
I just
hoping
brought
we
this up.
win. We should be beating Southampton, but
bro, what should be happening? And
exactly,
what is happening?
We should have just had 6 points this week,
bro.
Real
We should
talk.
be comfortably in
8 more games. 8 more games. Trust the process.
Here we go.
Then after that,
I'm watching the process, but yeah, literally, we really should win this 100-meter dash, but we've actually got a sack on us as well. So this is going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be a 0-0. Yeah, I reckon a 0-0 draw or 1-1. Yeah.
Well, there we go. And a bit ends it with a bit of positivity. Hopefully, we do get the victory.
We're not losing, so that's better. That's a better improvement.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's progress, but hopefully, we do get the victory. Guys, ladies, it's been great dropping up with you guys this week, talking about the Arsenal. Hopefully, things can move forward positively, and hopefully, Spurs can be Spursy for the rest of the season. But we'll see, man. Until next time, peace.